As a developing country in 2019, Malaysia is made up of almost 33 million people, around 7.5 million households, and over 6 million total supply of houses. An increasing number of population growth has led Malaysia to experience a high demand for houses, especially affordable houses. One of the ways the government cooperates with the low supply of housing units is to implement the National Affordable Housing Policy. The National Affordable Housing Policy was enacted in 2019 due to a shortage of affordable housing units over the period of 2014 to 2016. According to the Department of Statistics, Malaysia has increased its urbanization rate from 70% in 2010 to a 0.75% in 2020. The increasing amount of urbanization rate has also made the demand for residency go up. In this policy, the government has made a plan to build another million housing units to support the B40 and M40 groups' demand for affordable housing through the Ministry of Local Government Development. According to the National Affordable Housing Policy, the government's plan to provide more housing units will be implemented over a 10-year period starting in 2018 to 2028. 2012 new housing supply has consistently fallen short of the increase in demand by family units. Over the period of 2014 to 2016, there was an average supply of 114,000 new houses, sharply lower than the formation of 154,000 new family units. There is an oversupply of properties and a lack of demand. The two general reasons are Malaysians are either priced out of the market or they are not attracted by the products offered. According to the National Property Information Centre, as of the first half of 2019, almost 33,000 units of properties are overhang or unsold for more than 6 months. A possible explanation is that these properties also do not match the market needs as they are often far from the city centres, lacking connectivity and public transportation, thereby making them unattractive to prospective buyers. The third largest group overhang homes are above 1 million ringgit, which often target foreigners and a small percentage of wealthy Malaysians, so it does not cater the needs of B40 and M40 groups.
Malaysia average housing costs according to Hazana Research Institute (KRI) are very unaffordable because they are more than 4 times higher than the average income of the nation's citizen. The maximum median range for housing costs as a proportion of median income should merely not surpass 3 times that amount. Specifically, Kuala Lumpur has been dubbed as severely expensive with property prices 5.4 times that amount. The only state in Malaysia that comes within the maximum median is Melaka, where housing expenses are 3 times higher than the median range. Because of developing a property has increased over time for a variety of reasons, including the first one is high cost of complying with number rules such as capital contribution and planning requirement. Number 2 is increased cost for buying land and a lack of suitable land. Number 3 is increase in the price of building supplies and natural resources. And the last one, number 4, is the increase in labor costs. The third policy problem is growth in house prices outpacing growth in household income. So household income barely climbed by 8.3% between 2007 and 2016 compared to a 9.8% growth in housing prices. When the increase in home prices more than double the increase in income levels from 2012 to 2014, the problem was at its worst. Slower global and domestic economic growth overall is a contributing factor in the gradual increase in household income over time. Simply said, Malaysian property prices have increased significantly more than the ordinary Malaysian's salary.
Hi, my name is SYAHMAH binti Rahim and I am going to be presenting about the objective of National Affordable Housing Policy. So first, we have to provide a relevant and practical overview of the housing sector in step with the development housing industry. Second, to outline the characteristic of sustainable, livable and safe housing development to increase people's quality of life at a reasonable cost. Third, driving the path of affordable development so that every household, regardless of income, may own a home. Fourth, assisting to minimize the cost of affordable housing building without sacrificing the quality of the residents. public infrastructure, or the environment. Fifth, aiding the public and private sectors in construction of low-cost and timely affordable residences. And lastly, recognizing the fundamental consistency of affordable housing development across housing industry activists. Moving on to the strategies implemented. The first one, we have the Kadar Dasar Semalaman, also known as Overnight Policy Rate, OPR, whereby an owners who take out a house purchase loan will also experience a decrease in their monthly mortgage payment. Secondly, we have the Rumahku AKPK, Agency Counselling dan Pengurusan Kredit. It's actually a module provided by the AKPK itself to assist home buyers in making their best decision on their home. Third, we have My First House Scheme. The Malaysian government introduced this scheme to enable first-timers home purchases with an estimated monthly family income. Fourth, we have development and compliances costs are reduced. Fifth, the federal government and private sector work together to improve the availability of affordable housing, particularly in urban and rural areas. And lastly, we have the National Housing Policy, which also known as DRN, was created in between 2013 to 2017 to outline the direction as well as use as a basis planning and housing sector development at a level. And the primary objective of DRN is actually to provide an adequate and high quality house to increase or enhance people's quality of life.
Next, I will explain about the evaluation of the policy problems, which is the first one is mismatch between supply and demand for housing. According to the Malaysian National Property Information Centre and Departments of Statistics, the National Affordable Housing Policy showed the insufficient supply of new houses compared to the increase in households in 2012-2014. As of 2007 until 2009, the number of households was 123,000 and the number declined to 118,000 of household in the range of 2012 until 2014. However, based on the data provided, the number of new houses that have been completed in 2007 to 2009 and 2012 to 2019 flopped from 140,000 to 85,000 respectively. This issue has been a problem as it creates a weakness to the policy due to the increase of demand and lack of supply. The second problem is new launches skewed towards unaffordable range. New housing launches have been increasingly skewed towards the higher end property segment that can be seen from 2008 until 2014. From 2008 until 2009, there are quite a lot of houses whose price are less than 250,000 ringgit, which is 34,700 units. New launches houses in 2010-2011 started to decrease to 27,000 units and the numbers continued to decline to only 18,500 units of new launches houses. However, for houses priced between 250,000 ringgit to 500,000 ringgit, the number of new houses per unit was increased from 11,300 units to 19,000 units, and the numbers continued to rise up to 30,200 units in 2008 to 2009, 2010 to 2011 and 2012 to 2014 respectively. Besides that, from the data provided by the National Property Information Centre, for houses priced above 500,000 ringgit, the numbers of units continue to increase over the years. In 2008 to 2009, there were only 4,900 units of new houses launched, and the numbers however escalated to 11,000 units in 2010 until 2011. Not only that, the units of houses also surged up to 23,600 units in the following year, which is 2012 until 2014. This data has clearly shown that the new launches are skewed towards an unaffordable range since there has been immense soar in the number of house units for houses priced from 250,000 ringgit until 500,000 ringgit and above. In fact, it has been one of the weaknesses and problems in the mission to reach the target of the policy. For the last problem is the growth in house price outpacing growth in household incomes. Based on the statistics by Bank Negara Malaysia during 2012-2014, the growth in house price has outpaced the growth in household income compared to 2007 until 2009. There are only 5.1% in the growth of house price and 5.5% for the growth of household income in 2007 until 2009. However, the percentage of the growth rate for house price was 17.6% in 2012-2014, outpaced the number of household incomes, which were only 12.4%. This has been a drawback for the policy since the community cannot afford to buy the house as it is too pricey for those with moderate income. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, I'm Hazwani. I'm going to evaluate this policy objective given. The first objective is to provide a relevant and practical overview of the housing sector in step with the developing housing industry. To be noted, during COVID-19, the housing sector was affected throughout the world. Because of the recent drop in the kadar dasar semalaman called as overnight policy rate OPR, owners who take out house purchase loans will also experience a decrease in their monthly mortgage payment. The 2020 OPR is being reduced for the fourth time and it is now at its lowest level since the global financial crisis in 2009. The National Real Estate Information Center NAPIC reports that in the previous 4 years, the real estate market has improved. Other relevant reasons are the government creating a lower or zero stamp duty on new home purchases. On the whole, this strategy gives strength to the policy.
The second objective of this policy is to outline the standards and characteristics of sustainable, livable and safe housing development to increase people's quality of life at a reasonable cost. So, when we talk about sustainable, livable and safe housing development, it is necessarily had a strong relationship with the quality. Quality in the construction of affordable housing important as it is to meet the specification of the residents. However, problems that arise give negative impact to the residents as they need to spend more for maintenance operations. For example, there was a report that Taman Wadi Iman located in Kolaknas, Kelantan faced 6-time flash flood even that housing were just built a year more after launch in 2018 under Kelantan Chief Minister's Corporation PMBK. Fortunately, government will develop more initiatives that promote sustainability and raise awareness of environmental issues to cope the problem. So, it will make this objective strengthen this policy. The third objective is driving the path of affordable development so that every household, regardless of income, may own a home. More construction of affordable housing is good, but may causing many houses that remain unsold. The statistics from the Department of Statistics Malaysia (DOSM) indicates that there were 9.6 million housing units in Malaysia during 2020. Which is 7.7 million occupied homes, while 1.9 million that still vacant units. Apart from that, Malaysia takes multiple median as the main indicator to assess the ability to own a house. People afford to own a house when the price of the house is less than 3 times the median annual income. However, nowadays, based on the Bank Negara Malaysia Financial Stability Review, on the second half of 2021, the price was 4.7 times the median annual income, and it is considered as seriously unaffordable. Next, existing to minimize the cost of affordable housing building without sacrificing the quality of the residents, public infrastructure, or the environment. Although the Ministry of Housing and Local Government KPKT made efforts to create housing that guarantee the community from different socio-economic status, but some failed to consider the housing sustainability. As a result, government began to bind all the necessary parties to utilize industrialized building system (IBS) stage by stage in developing the affordable housing. IBS functioning in increasing the level of efficiency, avoid waste, And the most important is reduce the time period of the construction and project costs. In addition, there was a real estate developers in collaboration with Ecotech Sdn Bhd use this IBS in construction of affordable housing, Pria in Kuantan, Pahang. Hence, this shows that the government's desire to oblige every developer to apply this system has been achieved, and thus strengthening the policy.
I hope you are not bored yet because I'm going to evaluate whether aiding the public and private sector in the construction of low-cost and timely affordable residences as stated on fifth objective. For this objective, the federal government and the private sector work together to improve the availability of affordable housing, particularly in urban and rural areas. The importance of public-private partnership in the development of housing is that they improve access to land for low-income groups to fulfill the desire of consumers in this state, especially in urban land. A statement supported by statistics in major urban sectors. The situation was particularly acute in Georgetown, which suffered the highest median house prices and lowest median household income. Given that the house prices increased further in 2016, housing affordability continues to be a current issue for households. In the 10 Malaysia Plan 2011 to 2015, government intention to have more private sector make investment in development project. Government provide a fund for facilitation towards the private sector. This strategy show the strength of the policy made. The last evaluation for objective is recognizing the fundamental consistency of affordable housing development across housing industry activities. On top of that, the population is growing because of the factor of migration, also a new birth. According to data from Malaysian Statistics Agency 2018, there were 508,685 births reported in 2017, an increase in 2016. As a result, the need for housing in a particular location grows, which increases the need for housing in the region and its use of space. The National Housing Policy (DRN) was created in 2013 to 2017 to outline the direction as well as use as a basis in the planning and housing sector development at the level. This shows the strategy. This is the strength for the policy Malaysia.
Moving on to the policy recommendation, the first recommendation is set the prices for affordable houses to help the low-income households. Housing difficulties affecting those earning less than 2,500 per month will continue to be a priority to the government. One of the NHP's policy declaration is to provide housing for everybody with an emphasis on affordable homes for those with lower incomes and on medium-priced homes for those in the middle class. The government will keep helping those on modest incomes buy homes by subsidizing mortgage payments. The second recommendation is housing program and schemes for low and middle income households. Perumahan Rakyat One Malaysia Prima is an initiative aimed at supplying middle income city dwellers with decent low cost housing. The Prima was founded by the Prima Act 2012, which was enacted by Parliament on 29 November 2011 and gazetted on 9 February 2012. In November 2011, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak presented the Dewan Rakyat with the Perumahan Rakyat One Malaysia Law. Prima homes are planned as whole neighbourhoods with different size and shaped dwellings to accommodate the people of Malaysia's expanding cities. A Prima high-rise apartment is about between 600 and 1,200 square feet in size, whereas a Prima terrace home is roughly between 850 and 1,850 square feet in size. To qualify, You need to be a Malaysian citizen above the age of 21, have a total annual income of between 2,500 and 15,000, and not own more than one property in Malaysia. The third recommendation is improve the quality and condition of the low and medium cost housing. To better the quality and condition of low and medium price homes, the government has launched My Beautiful Malaysia as part of the National Blue Ocean Strategy. My Beautiful Malaysia focuses on housing upkeep via the PPP program, TP1M, Tabung Perumahan 1 Malaysia, and upkeep of government quarters. Public low-cost housing, private low and medium-cost housing, and government quarters are all included in the scope of these programs, which involve substantial repairs and maintenance works, including repainting, replacing elevators, water tanks, and sanitary system. The last recommendation is strategic public facilities in housing areas. The quality of the structure, the location of the property, and the circumstances of the neighborhood are three aspects of a home that prospective buyers emphasize frequently. Each of these aspects has the potential to have an impact on the price of a house. Every single housing development needs to be encircled by a variety of different and extensive public facilities. The provision of vital public utilities which everyone should have access to is a requirement. Healthcare, sanitary, educational, public transport, and public electrical infrastructure are all examples of vital public facilities.
For the overall conclusion that I have to conclude in this topic, it is the first one is the study found that the government policy, the national affordable housing policy, it is because in the government effort that should be modified in order to manage the housing affordable policy. For the point, the number 2 is increase the supply of affordable housing and increase home ownership. For the citizen, among the citizen, especially for the low and the middle income in groups. Also, the government should have improved their creation and for the affordable housing allows for the improvement of the rental housing market as a solution and the challenge of not being able to own a home in the near future. Next is the National Affordable Housing Policy is an effort of the government. It is to focus on sustainable national affordable housing concept. For your information, this concept is consistent with the National Affordable Housing Policy and goal and vision. For the last one, is to agree that this policy gives the high benefit to us, and I hope the government should take action based on the recommendation given so that the problem of affordable housing can be solved. Okay, thank you.